Good morning children. I am Sarita. Now I am going to teach you Chapter 5 Principles of Inheritance. In 8th standard you learned about inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance is the transmission of characters from the parents to the progeny. So transmission of characters, from parents to progeny. Progeny means offspring or young ones. Okay. So this offspring show tendency to resemble their parents, and that is known as heredity. So what is heredity? The tendency of the offspring to resemble their parental characters or to show resemblance in the parental characters. That is called a heredity. And the offspring also show variation. That means the tendency of the offspring to show differences from the parental characters. That is called a variation. So here they show similarity, here they show difference. Is it clear? And the study of heredity and variation is called genetics. So genetics is a branch of biology which deals with the study of heredity and variation. Who is the father of genetics? You already learned it, 10th standard. Gregor Johann Mendel. He is the father of genetics. In this chapter, we can learn genetics in detail. Okay, is it clear about all the terms? Inheritance, heredity, variation and genetics. Let's see the next area. So this is Gregor Johann Mendel and this is the experimental plant on which he was conducted an experiment. That was hybridization technique. So Gregor Johann Mendel actually was a priest in a church, and he conducted an experiment on pea plant or Pisum sativa. So here the species name, we should start with a small letter, Pisum sativa. Okay. So Pisum sativa means pea plants. He conducted hybridization. Hybridization means the crossing between two genetically dissimilar plants. And in his experiment, he concluded that in the inheritance of characters from the parents to the progeny, there is a transmission of units. And he gave the term factor for that unit of inheritance. Factors. So, there is a transmission of units of inheritance. That means, unit here, the term he was given factors. Actually, these factors are genes. So, this name was given by another scientist, Johann. So, Gregor Johann Mendel said that in the inheritance of characters, there is a transmission of units, and he gave the term factors for the unit of inheritance. Is it clear? Actually, the factors are genes. That means there is a transmission of genes from the parents to the progeny. Is it clear? And what is the reason for selecting this Pisum sativum as the experimental plant? That's also you already learned in 10th standard. So what are the reasons for selecting Pisum sativum as the experimental plant? The first reason is the plant is very small and very easy to cultivate. And the second reason is its lifespan is too short. So we can cultivate several generations within a short period of time. And the third reason is several varieties with the different characters are available. That means 7 pairs of contrasting characters are available in different varieties. And next reason is the plant is bisexual. So we can conduct normal self, pollination as well as cross-pollination by emasculation. So these are the reasons for selecting Pisum sativum as the experimental plant by Grigor Johann Mentor. And next we can see the important terms in relate to genetics. The first term is genes. So the first term is genes. Genes means the unit of inheritance. Before that, I'll write the important terminology. Important terminology in this chapter, or important terms. First one, genes. So as you know, genes are the unit of inheritance. Unit of inheritance. So we can say these are the segments of DNA that I will teach you later. And the second term is genes, after that alleles. Alleles means it's a form of gene. I'll explain it. Form of gene or forms of genes. Form of gene means normally a character is represented by a pair of genes. For example, you already learned the tall character. The tall character is represented by capital T or capital T, small t. Is it clear? In 10th standard you already learned this. And another character which is short, and it is represented by small t. Right? So here a pair of gene represents a character. A pair of gene means this single capital T and this T represent the tallness. Likewise, two genes together determine a character. That means a pair of genes always determine a character. In that pair, we can see two genes, and these two are called alleles. So how many alleles together form a pair of genes? Two alleles. Is it clear? So here this is one allele, this is another allele. That make a pair of genes that determine a character. Is it clear? Here also small t one allele, another allele, that make a pair of genes that determine a character. Is it clear about alleles? So we can say here two alleles make a pair of genes that determine a character. Normally a character is determined by a pair of genes. In that pair we can see two alleles. So forms of genes is called a allele. Is it clear about allele? Okay. Forms of gene. Next terminology is homozygous, heterozygous. Homozygous, fourth one, heterozygous. So here we can take the same example. What is that? Tall, short. Here the tallness can be represented by capital T, and shortness can be represented by small t. That means here a pair of genes determine character, and that pair consists of two similar alleles or two identical alleles. Am I right? Here two similar alleles such as capital T determine a character. Likewise, two similar alleles such as small t determine the short character. Is it clear? So this is called homozygous alleles or homozygous genes. Is it clear? So two identical alleles determine a character. That alleles are called homozygous alleles. Now we can see another example, that is capital T, small t also represent tallness. That means here two dissimilar alleles can also determine a character. That means this dissimilar alleles is called the heterozygous alleles. Is it clear? So homozygous alleles can determine a character. Likewise, a heterozygous alleles can also determine a character. So when two similar alleles determine a character, that alleles are called homozygous alleles. When two dissimilar alleles determine a character, that alleles or that genes are called heterozygous genes or heterozygous alleles. Is it clear about homozygous and heterozygous? Okay. Now we can see next term. Fifth one, phenotype. phenotype and genotype together we can see. Phenotype and genotype. We can take the same example. Tall, short. So, the tall plant or tallness is the physical appearance. The physical appearance of an organism or physical appearance of a character is called a phenotype. So, this is the phenotype. So, phenotype means physical appearance or visible character. Physical appearance. So, physical appearance of a character or visible or expressive character is called a phenotype. Here, the tallness and shortness is the phenotype. And what is the genetic makeup? So, the genetic makeup is called a genotype. Genotype means genetic makeup of a character. Genetic makeup of a character. Genetic makeup means here the tallness can be represented by capital T or capital T, small t. Here what is the genetic makeup of short? Small t, small t. Is it clear? So here the homozygous alleles are the genotype of tall character and this is the heterozygous alleles are the genotype of tallness. Here only homozygous alleles are the genotype of this phenotype short. Is it clear about phenotype and genotype? Phenotype is the physical appearance or expressive character. Genotype is the genetic makeup of a character. Is it clear? Now we can see next terminology or term, 7th one. Dominant and recessive. Dominant and recessive. So the same example we can take. See here the capital T represent tallness, tall character. And capital T small t also represent the tall character. That means this capital T can express its character by itself even in the presence of another allele. So this allele, why this capital T was given by the Mendel? So for the dominant character he was given capital letters. Okay, for the recessive I will teach you what is dominant and what is recessive. See, a gene or an allele which can express by itself even in the presence of another allele. So here this allele can represent tallness even in the presence of small t. Is it clear? This capital T can represent tall character even in the presence of small t. That means an allele which can represent or which can express the character even in the presence of another allele, that allele or that gene is called a dominant gene. Okay, so here the dominant gene is the capital T. Capital T is the dominant one. It dominates over the small t. Is it clear? So, what is dominant gene or what is dominant allele? The gene or allele which can express by itself even in the presence of another allele. And how this allele? So, this is suppressive here. This is hiding here. This character is hiding here due to the presence of this dominant character. Because capital T is dominate over the small t. That's why the tallness is expressed here. So, this is the recessive one. This capital or suppressed is the recessive one. Recessive one is small t. Then how it can express by itself as a character? The small t can express itself in the presence of another identical allele. Then they can express a character. Is it clear? So the recessive allele can express the character only in the presence of another identical allele or similar allele. Otherwise it can't express a character because one allele is dominating them. So the dominant one can represent the character, but the recessive allele can represent the character only in the presence of another similar allele or identical allele. Then only they can express the character. Is it clear about dominant and recessive? Okay. Now we can see next term, ninth one, that is hybrid. So hybrid means the product of a cross between two genetically dissimilar parents. That is a product of cross, that is hybrid. Okay. Now 10th one, monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross, then dihybrid cross. Together we can see dihybrid cross. Monohybrid cross, as I told you, Mendel was conducted an experiment on garden pea or Pisum sativa, and he was selecting only one character at a time. That was height of the plant, tall and short. So, the plant breeding in dealing with a single character at a time is called monohybrid cross. So, the hybridization in which Mendel was selected only a single character at a time. Single character at a time. So, the hybridization or breeding, the plant breeding which is dealing with a single character at a time is called monohybrid cross, and two characters at a time, that is dihybrid cross. So, two characters at a time. And what was the two characters you learned in 10th standard? Round green and wrinkled yellow. Okay, shape and color of the seed. Okay. So here the two characters are considering for hybridization. If three characters are considering, we can call it as trihybrid cross. Is it clear? So, hope you understood everything about this terminology. Actually, this is the base of the genetics. You already learned in 10th standard. In the next class, we can see monohybrid and dihybrid cross conducted by Gregor Johann Mendel on Pisum sativa. That's all for today.